Argentina is a Western country located in the southern region of Latin America. Unlike many Latin American countries that have two main seasons, summer and a rainy season, Argentina has four different seasons, similar to the United States. This seasonal diversity enables Argentina to dedicate significant portions of its land to agriculture and livestock farming, resulting in abundant food production for export. Established in 1853, Argentina's constitution, authored by Juan Bautista Alberdi, mirrors the foundational principles and institutions of the American Constitution. It upholds key values such as the republic, the individual liberty, private property rights, limited government, and market economics. Emerging as one of the world's 15 wealthiest nations, Argentina began attracting European immigrants in the 1800s and during both world wars, cementing its status as a prominent New World entity. However, this trajectory shifted with the rise of Juan Domingo Perón. Peronism, a blend of populist, fascist, and totalitarian ideologies, marked a turning point in Argentine politics. Kirchnerism, a radical version of Peronism, ascended to power in May 2003 when Nestor Kirchner assumed the presidency. Cristina Fernández, his wife, held office from 2007 to 2011, and from 2011 to 2015, followed by Alberto Fernández from 2019 to 2023. Aligned with other Latin American nations, embracing 21st century socialism like Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua, Kirchnerism fostered widespread corruption, estimated by analysts to have siphoned off the equivalent of 3 annual GDPs. Before Milei was elected, there were unsustainable conditions. Annual inflation soared to 100%, edging Argentina towards hyperinflation. Main cities suffered rampant street insecurity. Poverty rates reached 50%, with extreme poverty at 10%. Given Argentina's capacity to produce and export food for 450 million people annually, the juxtaposition of such abundance with pervasive poverty seems paradoxical. The reality reveals a political elite engaged in extensive corruption at national, state, and municipal levels, depriving millions of basic necessities. Javier Milei assumed office as president on December 10, 2023, garnering 56% of the popular vote. Hailing from a middle-income background, Milei transitioned from a youth soccer career to become a prominent economist advocating free market principles inspired by thinkers from the Austrian and Chicago schools of economics. Initially gaining attention through mainstream entertainment platforms, Milei shifted focus to economic and political discourse, galvanizing a grassroots movement of youth and leveraging social media to broaden his influence. Milei successfully reshaped the political landscape. He was able to make a shift in the Overton window, making libertarian ideas attractive in a predominantly Peronist environment. His agenda prioritized reducing the size of the state to eliminate fiscal deficits, abolishing currency exchange controls, to foster currency competition, and potentially adopting the US dollar as Argentina's currency. Finally, to dismantle the central bank in the near future. Within his first 100 days, Milei achieved outstanding milestones. Half the number of executive departments, in Argentina we call them ministries, each slashing 10% of public spending. Dismissed approximately 50,000 public employees and terminated 200,000 ineligible social programs. Halted public infrastructure projects, ceased printing pesos to finance government expenditures, enforced a zero-deficit policy, suspended official media advertising funds for 1 year. Moreover, Milei reduced progressive cultural initiatives, such as inclusive language mandates and minority privilege, signaling a departure from the status quo. In terms of legislative reform, Milei issued an executive order containing 300 reforms, and proposed the Law of Bases and Starting Points for the Freedom of Argentines, including 700 additional reforms aimed at restoring freedom, fostering competitive market structures, and combating corruption. Results: Milei's presidency witnessed a decline in monthly inflation rates. The monthly inflation rate of December 2023 was 25.5%. That of January 2024 was 20.6%, and that of February 2024 was 13.6%. Public confidence in the government's ability to reverse economic turmoil grew steadily. In December 2023, only 20% of Argentines trusted that Milei would comply. In January 2024, that figure rose to 30%. In February 2024, it rose to 42%. After the president's speech in the National Congress, it rose to 47%. Market indicators signaled optimism, with sovereign risk plummeting from 2,500 to 1,400, stable dollar rates, and increased prices of Argentine bonds abroad. In a world that is discussing the adoption of the universal basic salary and the elimination of private property in proposals such as the 2030 Agenda of the United Nations or the Great Reset of Capitalism of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Milei's support of capitalism and political liberty is certainly inspiring. Anticipation mounts for a potential domino effect across Latin America and the Western world.